I get bad news every day. Wow. People contact me all the time. This is what happened. What about this? And it's like, I'm just working now on trying to not be emotional. But it's very, because it's like I've been circling these issues for, almost 2 years. And just, uncovering, it's like finding out someone cheated on you and then seeing all the ways in which they have.
Happy Mother's Day!
What was that? I can't even...
You laughing? Excuse me.
That was a wheeze.
You occasionally have laughs that don't even have sounds. Where it's like...
I pride myself on all my laughs having sounds.
I mean, most of my laughs have sounds. Just some of my laughs are,
No, that's a good laugh. That's the kind of laugh I want to hear if I'm telling a joke. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, this is really
that's real
hitting.
Good. Don't be wrong, like my normal laugh is kind of like a Hardy Sailor's laugh.
Yeah, it is. That sounds like the most privileged laugh ever. Oh, this caviar is mushy. Oh my god.
I'm pantomiming lighting a pipe.
Oh god. Oh,
it's like if you read it in a book.
Hop into the Rolls Royce.
It's like if you read it in a book, it has it's like not ha ha, it's ho ho ho.
Oh, what? See, that's the voice acting skills.
Thank you. This is my hire me, please. Please hire me.
Welcome to I'm Trying, you guys. Please hire Jacob.
Please. Welcome to episode 14.
The podcast where we beg for your validation and your money and your gainful employment. I'm Jhanelle Dennis.
I'm Jacob Derwin. Welcome to episode 14. We're very glad you're here. Sorry for jumping the gun there for a sec. God. Oh, the money crisis I'm going through at the moment.
Damn.
I mean, I'm not like destitute. I've been saving money ever since I graduated college. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, and you got a job.
Yeah, and I work, and I'm okay. But like, I'm trying to set up a situation for when I go away during my little tours coming up that I have. I don't need to, necessarily cover my own rent while I'm away, and that's been a complicated thing. And I'm not making a lot of money this summer because I work at a school, and it's called summer vacation for a reason. So it's right now it's a pay, bit by bit moment, and it's a little frustrating.
Maybe that's why at summer camp they charge money to get money from kids
to pay the adults.
No, I don't think the money trickles to the adults.
Okay,
like you're not getting money from.
I mean, I've been a camp counselor for repeatedly over and over again over the years, and it does not pay.
Oh, what? Really?
It pays.
So you just have to love it.
It's a minimal thing. Like I was a sleepaway camp counselor for 2 summers in Eisner. In Great Barrington, Massachusetts.
Why do they call it sleepaway camp? Isn't it implied? Isn't it implied that camp is going to be
some camps are day camps.
So then they can say day camp
and camp.
Day camp and then real camp. Grow up.
I'm just clarifying because I've worked in both. You know what I mean? So I've worked in, the camp.
Yeah.
It was a Jewish camp. Saying just camp feels weird. It was a camp in Great Barrington where I spent a lot of years as a camper, and I was a counselor there too, and I was also a specialist, which is like an additional thing. I was the music song leader variety, and. They kind of like when they're giving you your salary, they kind of take into mind like room and board because you do live there and they do feed you, and it's kind of an excuse to
getting fed.
Terribly underpay all of the staff. I think I made the one summer I was a CIT, I made maybe $200 and had to pay to work there the first half of the summer, and then the second summer I worked there I was a normal counselor, and I can't remember what I made, but after taxes, it wasn't much more than $1,000, I think, for the whole summer.
Oh, damn!
And I was a specialist, which means I was I was making more money than a lot of other people at the camp. So nothing. And I know people who still go back every summer to work there, and I'm sure they make a little. It
sounds
bit more
like a horror movie plot.
It kind of financially, it's a horror movie. Absolutely,
we should make that movie.
Summer Camp 2, Destitution. The Destitutioning.
Man.
Anyways, that's my situation. Come see me on tour this June. Go to Jacob Derwin on Twitter or Instagram to
I want to go back. I want to go back to the summer camp thing only because
sure. You ever go?
But not to talk about that. We're not going to get into my camp stories.
Okay.
Because they're not exciting in the least bit. They're not interesting. Being a camp counselor, that's like just extended babysitting.
Yes.
And to me, babysitting is being a surrogate parent.
Yes.
Why would anyone want to do that?
Well,
I mean, aside from people that love the company of children.
Wow, you couldn't have phrased that any worse, honestly.
The platonic company of children.
The platonic company of children. That's gross. No, I mean, a lot of it is just going to camp.
I mean, I like spending time with, like, I'm very selective when it comes to kids that are my friends, like, or kids that I'll have as friends. Because I don't know, the kids have to have personalities, and usually at a certain age you don't have a personality yet.
I mean, I can say for sure because that's my day job. I work with the youths, and like you definitely see personality come out at different ages. And stuff.
But no, by that I mean I would prefer hanging out with a younger kid than say like a 14-year-old.
Oh, well, that's a very different.
Like I don't want.
You don't want to hang out with a teenager, or you do want to hang out with a teenager?
No,
okay.
That would be my nightmare. Like I don't want to spend time with someone that can use a smartphone and has Snapchat.
Oh man,
and...
there are babies that are swiping at this point.
It's
a night. But no. I mean, look, in terms of summer camp, the people who I know who still go, I'm sure to a degree they love being a part of like a summer camp environment, or
Wasn't your dad a summer?
My mom and my dad met at the summer camp that I went to.
Oh,
yeah, or because of that. And so...
so it's not a horror story after all. It's a story of love.
Well, the big thing is, like, the people who I know who still go there, I'm not really in touch with a lot of them, but I have to assume that a lot of it is just, it's kind of... I talk about nostalgia blindness a lot when I do, like, shows and stuff.
Nostalgia blindness?
I think they have such a kind of a doe-eyed, red tint...
That sounds like a band name.
Yeah, there you go. Rose-tinted glasses kind of view of what camp is to them. Like, it's this very precious... Oh, yeah, big time. And I think a lot of people who still go there, like when they get older, people who are in their mid to late 20s who are still working there every summer. It's not necessarily because like, oh, I love being a Jewish educator at a summer camp. It's I go to camp because I have friends there, and I like the town still, and it's like important to me to be there, and I like being part of this little bubble. And it's a little.
It's comfort. Also, what that means to me is that the camp is just good. Like a camp that you want to go back to?
All I know is that after 2 summers of being on the staff at a summer camp, having that curtain pulled back was really uncomfortable for me. Because, like, what was really going on... It was like
the Wizard of Oz. You see?
Except instead of magic or whatever and animatronics are going on behind the scenes, just a bunch of teenagers making out on the basketball court.
What's wrong with that? That's the coolest camp ever.
No, it's just...
Want to know what my camp memory was?
Please.
It was one of the counselors or one of the pseudo-counselors chopping a part of his finger off. Jesus. And that's all I remember. Like, he was cutting at things and he chopped the finger off and he's like, ah! They were all like, ah! I'm like, I'm never going back to camp again. It was the first time I've ever seen anyone sever
and I hope the last.
Their body.
I hope the last.
I mean, I'm a little bit more than that, about a quarter of my way through life. I'm pretty sure I'll see some more.
I really hope you don't. I'm yet to sever anything myself or witness a severing, and I'm happy about that.
I've heard of severings, like when we like severing hearsays, severing grapevine. They heard it through the grapevine. Greater vine? That didn't work. I was trying to make a severed pun.
Don't know where you're going with this.
I was trying to make a pun that was...
heard it through the grate, like a cheese grater?
Yeah.
I heard it through
the grater
cheese grater vine.
That didn't work. Oh, anyways, let's move on. But yeah, I heard about about a severing when we moved. I was living in, we call it public housing, subsidized housing when I was younger. And when we moved into the building next to us, we heard that someone there had his nether regions cut off.
Oh God! What a great moment! Hi, John and Jay. How you doing? Hello. Hey, hold on. This is the famous Jhanelle.
Oh my God!
No, I'm going to keep it rolling. I'm going to explain what's going on. So, one of our roommates in the apartment, Jam's been on tour with Rock of Ages around the country and Canada, and we've been very proud of him. He's doing a great job. And Jhanelle, who lives across the street as the hallway, has somehow never met JM, despite them living here adjacently. And so this is an important moment. And
it's, oh my god, it's like we were just talking about the Wizard of Oz. It's like, but you're not like the negative, you know.
Right, no,
wizard.
I know.
But like, I've heard so much about
He's the tornado.
I
am the lone, I moved into this apartment in fall of 2015. And my name has been on lease since then, but I'm seldom here.
It's funny how many people have lived in that room.
Whoa.
But there you go.
There was a point, like, because you and Ryan didn't move in at the same time.
About a week apart. Pretty close.
But that handoff.
Yeah.
I think this was like truly like a hostel. Like there were just
No. I moved in.
Whoa.
Okay. Your podcast listeners enjoy this story. When I moved into this apartment, we're here, buddy. It's fine. So when I moved into the apartment, there was a very young couple in a bunk bed in your space. There was another guy. I don't remember any of these people's names. There was another guy in the room that's Wolf's, and I moved in replacing Sadie when she left. And Jory had already gone, apparently. These are all names that are irrelevant to anyone listening, but just go with us on this.
We have changed names to protect the...
Yes, exactly. So I move in. I'm here with those people for about a week, cat sitting, Sadie's cat. And then she leaves. Everybody else starts to leave. Wolf moves in to replace the guy in his room. The two in the bunk bed disappear into the night, leaving only a giant plush...
Because you guys killed them.
Leaving only a giant plush Squirtle in their wake, which I'll shout if you remember the Squirtle.
The Squirtle!
This is all inside baseball. And then eventually you return JM, and then you left again, and then who was the first? Then Jhanelle replaced you, and then you came back for a minute, and then Lauren replaced you, and then you and John came back, and then you left, and it was just John, and it's been a freaking revolving door. But the
sounds like Big Brother.
But the magic of it, I don't know how this happened. No one's been a jerk. Every person in this apartment that I've interacted with has been lovely / an actor or a musician or an artist of some sort.
That's not where I thought that story was going.
Well, we were talking about this the other day when we were showing the apartment. The dude was like, "What's the life like around here?" And we're like, "We don't really know because no one's lived here long enough to really know." Yeah. But everyone's always been super kind.
Everyone's been lovely in that world, you know. And so it's so somehow you sprinkled some fairy dust, and we're trying to keep that going.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I am passing the torch finally, and moving to the big old Manhattan.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Oh my god! So you had the same run as Game of Thrones, pretty much.
Yeah. Yes.
Clink.
Clink, clink.
Oh.
I admittedly was not necessarily not a fan of podcasts. They were just something that I'd never listened to.
Sure. Hey man, you're good.
But I started listening to this one, of course, and Race Chaser by Alaska and Willem, who are two...
Is that Drag Race?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
They sort of dissect every episode of Drag Race, and they started from the very beginning, and they're working their way through the entire series.
Wow.
So if there's a current season on, they'll jump to do that current season, but then they'll go back and work their way.
Oh, that's amazing, because I need to watch... I only watched, I think, the first season, and all of my friends have caught up. And I feel so behind that I can't catch up anymore, but I should listen to this.
And here's the kicker. In Canada, they have almost the entire series on Netflix. And it's not that way in the U.S. So the first time I went to Canada, I was binging Drag Race up the wazoo, because I hadn't seen
You're at the gate at the airport
seasons.
being sorry,
literally.
just wait.
You joke, but that was the reality.
No,
I have to see this lip sync.
It's for their lives.
No, I get it. When I was trapped in Fiji for a minute, they had Netflix available to us, and Fijian Netflix is nothing like American Netflix. The amount of stuff they have there that you could never get over here, it was pretty awesome. Ugh. Well, I'm glad you're back, even if it's only for a minute, and we're excited for you to get your Manhattan pad all set up, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, I am enjoying this sort of introduction into all these great podcasts. And
oh yeah, man!
Wow.
You can find a podcast about any topic, which is what I love.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And I think, John's mom always says knowledge is power, and I think podcasts really, even if, whatever it is, they can be just for fun. But I think just hearing people speak and talk about things is great.
So Jhanelle, can you tell me a little bit about Sandra and Phil and your relationship with them?
Sandra and Phil are my legitimate parents. Not for real.
Happy Mother's Day again.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Sandra Battaglini and Phil Luzi are a comedy. They're not a duo. But they started as a duo. They started as a clown duo.
They were clowns?
They were clowns.
I didn't know they were clowns.
Yeah.
Somehow that never came up.
You can find pictures with them with red noses.
I was a clown. Wait, I was a clown. We could have bonded over this. Why didn't anyone tell me?
Well,
I was a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade clown for 4 years.
I feel like that's something that you should have sussed out.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask the comedians when they were clowns.
There should be a clown, society code where you wink.
Got it.
And then you take away someone. No, you make someone's nose disappear. No, that's a magician. That's a magician.
Anyways.
Yeah, they started as a clown duo. I think they started in Second City, and they are now just two great independent stand-ups. Phil Luzi also does a lot of he's directed a lot of great fringe shows in the Toronto Fringe Festival.
Awesome.
Award winning and all that stuff. And Sandra Battaglini, aside from comedy, has started what we call CASC, the Canadian Association for Stand-Up Comedians.
She's responsible, from what I've gleaned, for really helping
saving the livelihood
of a lot of Canadian comedians. And
yeah.
And it's funny talking to her. You don't get that I'm in charge of the union kind of vibe. She's just incredibly sweet and welcoming and lovely. And also really good at writing letters,
Yeah,
so
shows up and speaks in Parliament and stuff.
Seriously, I mean, we mentioned it in the show, but who gets angry at the situation they're in and legitimately writes to the country's leader and gets attention for it? That's really... She's dynamite, and it was a really, really cool conversation.
She's dynamite, and they are both very Italian, so they're my Italian parents. They talk in a lot of abbreviations. Actually, Sandra has an album that's out. I have it on my phone called "Baby G's and Other Abbreviations."
I love it a lot.
And Phil has a bunch of other stuff going on too, which you can go to his website philluzi.com and check out a bunch of his videos and sketches and all his funny stuff.
All that jazz. So, more to come. Enjoy the episode with Sandra and Phil.
Pump it up.
I guess one time one of my solo shows. It was called Hard-Headed Woman. And at my very last night, so most of my family was there. It was the closing night. And there was this crazy person in the audience who kept talking to me. And finally was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, go. There's still more show. And when he came back, he threw a bottle of what looked like urine at me.
What?
Oh. Yeah, it was so it fling. Sorry, I swore. And it hit my elbow, and then it landed on the ground, and Mark Andrade, the tech guy, puts a spot on it, and
he put the spotlight on the yellow fluid.
Yeah, and I couldn't deal. I didn't know what to do. I just stared at it. I didn't know how to deal.
Oh,
and then I couldn't sleep afterwards. Friday night was my favorite show, and then Saturday was the closing night, and it was just so messed up. And then I had to go to Cuba just to relax.
Oh my god!
So it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing because my family was just everyone was they were horrified, and I at the time just didn't have. I just didn't have the experience or how to come back from that.
Yeah. What do you do when you have a bottle of unidentified liquid thrown at you? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did your family stand up or
everyone was just everyone was just shocked. They just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, so they didn't know what to do.
So I like that. Had you ever been heckled at all? Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were used to normal heckling.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago was this?
Oh God. 2006, maybe not. Maybe 2008. Well, I don't remember.
No, it was before that.
Yeah.
At least a decade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know how far along in your comedy career you were.
like 18 years ish.
Oh, well, that's pretty substantial still.
Yeah. A full-grown child.
Pardon me.
Yeah. Well, 18 years. I don't know. It's hard to say when you mark those moments.
Yeah.
2004, I would start to call myself a professional.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I shouldn't say. 18 years was when I first started taking classes at Second City and started to perform.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I would say. But that's not. I don't think you start your career. You don't say you start a career when you start taking classes.
Yeah.
I mean, you also don't say you start your career the first time someone throws a bottle of piss at you on stage.
It depends what you're doing. That's true. That might be success for some people. Like, I made it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, is that the worst it's ever been in terms of people messing with you on stage?
Yeah, I guess that was pretty crazy. I think there's been other times, but that was pretty crazy.
That one stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, while I'm on stage, yeah. Just one time though. One time there was like, I was on stage and I just started talking, and some drunk guy was like, "Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're funny." And I was like, that was the first time someone really heckled me, and I just walked off stage crying. That definitely was embarrassing. Like, I was so, like, I had to leave, and I'm like, I can't stay here. I feel so awful. But, like, apparently the audience was really, like, some people went up to the managers afterward, and, like, they were so concerned about how I felt, and it was like, yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Sometimes the audience is on your side, you know what I mean? Like,
for stuff like that, most people are, like, most people... Yeah.
But for you to cry, I feel like that was an angry cry. Like, you know when you get so mad that all you can do is cry?
Yeah. Well, I'm not even remember if I was angry. I just felt like, I don't know, just somebody knocked the wind out of my sails.
Damn.
It was your moment,
but I was angry afterwards for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
If anyone, I mean, I work with preschoolers doing music on a daily basis, and if a preschooler said like, "You're not actually good because you play guitar" or something, just like simply, like, it would affect me for a little bit. Like, it's personal.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have any stage stories?
The only thing, no, like stage story. I'm good with heckling. I invite it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I love it too. I love it too, but yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't, like, sometimes, but
I don't think you've ever been heckled brutal though.
no. No, I can shut it down pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, bottle of piss, I would have thrown it back. I would have opened it before I threw it back too.
Yeah, but
And I don't give a fuck.
Like a grenade style type.
Yeah.
Like, I got it.
First of all, I don't think it was pissed. I think that's weird. I think he might have just said that, but
God, I hope
apple
so.
juice or
because that's
something.
mental
Either her, who
health,
wants
and the
to
manager
check?
of the theater should have really
You know what I'm
intervened
doing?
at that point.
Yeah, who wants to check that though? Really? Like,
I know.
I'm gonna be the one to just give it. No, pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or if it's warm.
I'll do it. That's a good
it was
sign.
pretty yellow. It was pretty yellow.
Oh
Yeah,
my
bottle
gosh.
of
I
liquid
don't know
in general.
I don't know what it could have been. Who knows?
But when I think of, like, embarrassing failures, I think of I went to graduate school.
Sure.
My
Yeah.
master's in sociology and statistics.
So you're better than us. Okay, that's fine.
No, I only did it because I did well in sociology, and then I got paid to go get my master's. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Damn,
keep
I
going.
wish
Yeah.
that happened for me.
Yeah. No, well, you came to this school in the States.
Yeah, but I had to pay.
Yeah, exactly. And when I did, and I didn't really love what I was doing, and my supervising professor called me out because it was a 1.5 year program, and we had to write like a thesis.
Where was this?
At McMaster University.
Oh.
Yeah. And I had to write my thesis and stuff, and so I had to make proposals. And he called me out one day. He's like, "Can you come into my office?" And I'm like, "Oh, and I used the word, I'll never forget this, unequivocally, totally inappropriately.
Unequivocally.
Yeah, so as a master's student, I don't know, I was so embarrassed, but at the same time, he was being such a dick. But basically called me out and said, "You don't know what you're talking about here, and you should know what you're talking about."
Wow.
And that's when I kind of was like, why am I here? I don't even want to do this. I'm not interested. I was in classes with 8 people, really small rooms, and I'm like, why are you guys so interested in all this shit? You're discussing like 500-year-old theories. It's making me mad. And I knew when I was done, I was like, I'm not going to quit before I get my degree, but I am out of here. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And it kind of like made me decide not to pursue that. Because I was going to go into teaching. I was going to do PhD and just teach. That track.
Whoa. Yeah. And then he called you out on your semantics, on your word choice.
Yeah.
What did he say you should know? Unequivocal. The
word. He's like, you're using this inappropriately.
Oh, okay.
And that's embarrassing. When you're at that level of education, for a professor to say you don't know the definition of a word you're using.
That's so nitpicky, though.
I know.
It does, but I think it's the same kind of effect where it's just like, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that little...
But not in the Oprah way.
Yeah. You know what I mean? No. I wish it was in the Oprah way.
Yeah. Do you find it's hard to stay positive in comedy? Or because you guys used to work together a lot, and now you work on your own, doing your own thing. There's a lot of negativity
in comedy.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
so how do you guys? Because you guys, knowing you, I know both of you are really, really positive.
Yeah.
Beacons of light.
Yeah.
People that I think everyone, at least, I know in the Toronto community, feels like they can go to you guys and vent and talk about stuff that's going on. So how do you rise above all that? Such a cliche question. How do you rise above the negativity?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think what gets everybody negative in comedy is competition. Mm-hmm. So once you decide you're not in competition with anybody, you're just like... And you can sense it. I have this gut instinct. If I can feel, like, if you're in the comedy bar for over 45 minutes, it's time to get out.
Yeah.
You can't stay in there too long. Any comedy, like, if it's all comedians, you got to get out. Because they're never really off work.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I just try to step out of it and remember that it's stupid. It's all stupid. Like, what everybody's negative about is just inconsequential.
Yeah, it's like the crabs in the bucket mentality.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not a crab.
Yeah.
I don't know what other
I'm the bucket.
You can be the human bucket.
That means I'm full of crabs.
Oh, God.
But bucket is actually a slang in Scarborough, in Toronto. Bucket means, like, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like for a douche. Or like like a loser.
Should I bleep out the bucket part?
No,
of it?
That's my favorite one. Being like, bucket, bucket, bro.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I think it's short for scum bucket, but people told me no. But I choose to believe that.
God, I hope it's scum bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wait, so you I mean, you described them as, to your text to me at least, as kind of like your comedy mom and dad.
Yeah. I didn't mean for you to bring it up now. That was supposed to be between us.
Oh, it's okay.
No, but I want to say that, like, I think that's an incredibly lovely thing to say, and I wonder if you guys kind of feel that in the Toronto scene or in general.
Well, I mean, like last year, I helped form the Canadian Association of Stand-Up Comedians.
Yes,
God bless.
and you saved the livelihood of Canadian comedians.
So, ever since I started doing this, it's equally inspiring as it is depressing. So it's been hard, very challenging at times. Especially before the whole JF thing blew up, I was just like, there's nothing in Canada. Like, it's literally nothing. And so being positive about it...
What was this again for the people that don't know? It was JFL, for a brief period in time, wanted to play only American comedians.
Channel 168 on SiriusXM Canada is it was called Canada Laughs, 100% independent Canadian comedy. Awesome. And then we found out that Just for Laughs was going to take over that station, and then, play mostly JFL archives, and then reduce the amount of independent Canadian comedy to little, although we'd never seen, the actual numbers officially presented. And so, it was just such a disaster to the community, because it's the only one of the only places where Canadians are broadcast. And just people freaked out because, it represents, for some people, a really significant part of their income.
Yeah.
So
the royalties and all that from the album.
So definitely people come to me. I just wrote something for the Comedy Tribune. I don't know if you saw it. Just something that's this new website that comedians just share stories. And I say this, it's I get bad news every day. Wow. People contact me all the time. This is what happened. What about this? And it's I'm just working now on trying to not be emotional, but it's very, because it's I've been circling these issues for almost 2 years, and just uncovering, it's like finding out someone cheated on you and then seeing all the ways which they have. So that's what it's been.
That's pictures.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah, Instagram.
So sometimes...
You're like, I didn't know you were on Instagram. I posted on my sorry.
At this point.
Yeah, who cares, right?
I can't remember if I swore. I can't remember if I did.
When? You did.
Okay. Multiple times, yeah.
You did. You didn't even know.
It's okay. You're good. I got you.
Yeah.
Audacity is a wonderful tool. So is that the main challenge? You feel like just kind of having to like look and analyze and think about all this kind of terrible, complicated stuff constantly? Is that the hardest part for you?
Well, I like to find things out. So discovering things it can be really fun, but but it's just the way in which you do. You're just like, something's not right here, and then you discover, you're like, this is terrible. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, it's that, and then it's like comedians, there's just a handful of us that really do, are really doing all the work. And right after just the crisis, there were a lot of people that are like, I want to help out, and now it's kind of just dwindled. So keeping up that momentum to want to help people that are not, like some people the day after the Just for Laughs announced that they were returning all this like back to Canadians, people they didn't give a shit. They were just worried about their own money. And you know what? Yeah. I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just, it can be difficult. But then I know that's my ego, that if I get mad at people who are not doing stuff, then it's like, well, then you can't. That's not why
you're like, this is why I'm the leader. You're the one that's kind of.
We just got to do stuff. Like it's like you believe in. How do you make change? It's cliche. It starts in your community. Well, this is what it is. So, but right now I'm just trying to work at like separating myself and like. Because for the last couple of months it was so much of that I had to step away because I'm like, this is not my life.
You even went to Parliament.
Oh yeah, I'm going again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've been there 3 times now. This will be the third time.
Which for the American listeners, that's the equivalent to what? House, the Senate.
Yeah, I don't know about the.
I don't know American
Senate.
Politics.
Well, Parliament. I mean, it's DC. It's you're going to.
Yeah, you go to DC. We're going to Ottawa. Yeah.
Yeah. Same idea.
Having meetings with a bunch of people. Yeah.
Sure, it's
but it's cool. It's so cool in so many ways, and it's like I said, it's and depressing in others.
Yeah.
So
wow,
what are you gonna do?
I mean, that's a heck of a, it's just a heck of a role to take on. You know what I mean? I've never been part
but
of
I didn't intend for it.
I bet you didn't.
I just wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, and then it just spiraled from that, and it just keeps going. You know what I mean? But like. I don't want to do it forever. Obviously, like it's setting it up, and then just
putting it in motion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're the hero we deserve. What's the saying? The hero we deserve, not the one we know.
Well, the hero we want, not the hero we deserve. It's Batman. I don't know.
We're in the New York Comedy Club green room right now, and there's a big Batman behind Jacob. So
made out of newspaper and comic books and light bulbs.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
It was meant to be. Imagine if the light bulbs just came on right when we said that.
I mean.
Yeah, the movie starts.
Could I? I'm playing with.
Then we
see
Jack Nicholson or.
There's a switch, but I can't seem to. Maybe I can. It would have been great if I could do it, but I can't. Anyways, moving forward. So wait, so you wrote this letter, like to the Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Was it Justin Trudeau? No.
Justin
Trudeau.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Obama was in power at the time.
I would say, like, not Trump especially, but, like, I would never just be like, wow, this is really going to affect my livelihood. I better write to my president. That's just like...
I don't even know what made me write to him, but I just was like, I wanted him to know. Or I just wanted to... It was more like about writing something because of what's going on in our community that most of them were just gripes that...
Like a Dear God letter.
Yeah. Dear God. And also because...
I know you're not listening, but everyone else is.
And him and Obama were so tight, and one of the big issues is us working in the U.S. That's so difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Wow.
And that's how it started. It wasn't like, I expected the Prime Minister to respond. Although now, after 3-4 years, I don't know, I think it's 3 years, it's like, I would like him to respond.
I think it's possible.
Come on,
Trudeau.
Justin.
No, I think it's possible with Trudeau.
It's possible,
he seems like a pretty understanding guy.
Yeah.
I don't know Canada politics.
He seems like he'd be into comedy too. Actually, no. I've seen pictures of Canadian comedians with him.
Yeah.
Like Martha. I think it was Martha.
Yes. Yeah. He has been. Yeah. I think he did a voiceover for Corner Gas. He did.
Corner Gas is a series in Canada. And it takes place in a gas station in like the mid Midwest Canada.
Mm-hmm. Was this before or during the politics?
I think it just ended, but it's like a little.
No, so like he did like a guest appearance.
Yeah, and it's now in an animated show. So
it's animated.
Part of me was thinking like, before he was the prime minister, he was a budding voice actor who needed to.
He was a drama teacher.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We need to get Justin Trudeau on the podcast.
We need someone with a theater background in charge because this ain't good.
I think Jacob just wants to see his path to presidency.
Yep. Oh God.
Voiceovers.
Yeah, that'd be a mess if I was. I don't know what's going on.
Disaster.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyways, let's not go into that.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. So you're in sociology school, or you're in a kind of a low point because you're just trudging through the sadness that is people's careers in trouble. What do you guys do after? Like you said, you literally went to Cuba after the pee bottle.
To make yourself feel better.
Like, is that a thing you do? Like if something goes wrong, like if you're feeling down, are you a traveler or?
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah.
And I want to be, but that was like that. I literally do that. I need to do that, but I don't.
Yeah. So what do you tend to do when you're
meditate? I meditate a lot.
Oh, you're the first person. You are the first. We've been doing this for a few months now. I can't think of anyone else who said meditation.
13 episodes and
I think 14.
Oh yeah, that's 14, the only thing.
Yeah.
I do yoga meditation, yep.
That's amazing. What got you into meditation and yoga?
I don't know. I was told, my chiropractor told me. She kept telling me, do yoga.
Uh-huh.
And then finally I did. She was offering a class in my building, and then that got me. It started there.
How many years ago was this now? 'Cause
12 years ago.
So you're on the forefront.
For a while, yeah.
Because now any big career conference where you go to and there's the CEO and they're asking, so what's some advice you have for budding people in the career? And they'll be like, honestly, this may sound unconventional, but I meditate for 5 minutes every day. And everyone's like, whoa!
There's apps and everything, the Headspace.
And you don't snort money?
Yeah.
Snort money. I pulverize my dog.
Who needs them? They're not going to be useful in a couple years anyway.
Yeah, but you're on the upswing of that wave because now everything's meditation. Like I meditate every day, and but now there's so many videos on YouTube, albums, all that.
Yep.
I can't focus. I just I'll try for like a minute. My brain will just start racing. I can't.
That's the point of meditation.
I know it is, but I can't quiet it. I've been trying for a long time.
It's not impossible for anyone. You have to exercise your brain.
Maybe once I've been in therapy for more than 2 years. Maybe I'll
try hypnosis. I've been trying to. Jacob's my neighbor. I've been trying to get him and his roommates to let me hypnotize them or do. Guided meditation. Because it's the same as hypnosis, just getting your brain into a state where, you're suggestible, but not in a way I'm not going to make you quack like a chicken or like
quack?
Do weird...
Time out.
Quack like a duck.
Time out. Hold on. Quack like a chicken. That'd be particularly
I didn't meditate
difficult.
Today, as I said.
That's why.
We've done like full day workshops even together, like 8-hour meditation workshops. We did that a couple of times.
Is there like partner like yoga?
Yeah, this one was specific. Yeah.
Well, that's actually kind of cute. To be honest. I love that a lot. Yeah. Have you really gotten into meditation too, or is there something else you tend to?
I don't do chanting or I don't do meditations, but I shut my brain off for like about 5 to 10 minutes every day in stillness. But I feel like when I go through periods where I am faced with failure or disappointment, I just take it as a sign from the universe that it's time to make a decision of an opposite direction. Like it was given to me as a gift, this disappointment.
I love that.
That's how I see that. It was like a roadmap that's like, you're going the wrong way. And I know it's time to turn. So if I don't have those moments of disappointment, then I never know where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, hello! Hey. No, it's fine. It's podcast.
Yes. Oh, we have former guest of the show, episode 2, Jay.
Yeah,
just walked into the green room.
Good to see you. Oh, hello. We're doing an episode. We're glad you're here.
It looks really fun.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what happens. We're in the back of a comedy club. You're bound to comics.
Never know what comedic characters will.
Yeah.
Drop in. This is becoming the Stern Show.
Yeah.
Great.
But that was actually perfect timing because on episode 2 when we talked with Jay, his answer was going out into a field in Welland, Ontario, and just being with himself.
He bailed on
and then listening to punk music was his other answer.
Meditation isn't like, we make it into a thing like it's supposed to be something, but walking can be a meditation. It's like just you focusing or turning your brain off and doing something. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I guess I just got to get good. I don't know.
I can't do silent meditation. I have to have it guided and someone's walking me through it, like an airplane, like the flight attendants. How they tell you, like, if you're feeling sick, here's where the bag is. Here, put the mask on yourself first, and not the baby. Yeah. I need
take care of yourself first.
I was. This is Survivor story incoming. Ding ding. Something that didn't make air. We talked. So a friend of mine named Stephanie, who was on my original team when we started the game, is a yoga instructor, and we were living on a beach in Fiji. And so I wasn't in the game very long, but for several of the mornings and evenings when we were out there, we would go out onto like the coastline, and she would like guide us in like yoga and like kind of meditation type things, like on the shore of the beach, like as the sun was going down. And I'm glad none of this footage made air because it's me bouncing around trying to balance, and it's a disaster. But like, admittedly, there were moments out there when you like there's nothing else you can really do. You can't. There's no screen. You're not focused on anything else. You're just like water, beach, person telling me what to do with my body, and I feel like that kind of combination works. It might just be the fact that I'm surrounded by all the things all the time.
Yeah.
Lots of distraction.
We live outside of the subway,
Yeah. And I can't do group yoga because I'm too self-conscious about not being flexible enough to hit the proper poses. And I know because had yoga instructors tell me you can do an alternate pose or do something that's easier. That's too embarrassing for me.
You feel the
I don't want to be the one person doing the alternate pose while everyone's doing the proper one.
I get it.
Yeah. Gyms are hard.
Yeah, you've had a couple. I feel like you've had a couple rough New York moments. I remember one of the last times you were here, the MTA, the subway people were giving you a hard time. And then you got out and you were super flustered. You're like, I was
coming to meet you, and I was just telling Phil, I was like, I think it was at Times Square. I came in and out of the subway maybe 14 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you were trying to help me, and I was freaked out. I was like,
in the same station?
Yeah, they just kept. I didn't know where to go. They kept telling. Like, I don't know.
Times Square is like a labyrinth.
Yeah, no, that station is complicated as heck. That's totally fair.
Yeah, there's ramps and elevators, and they don't lead to the proper place. It's like in The Shining, you know how the
maze?
The house in The Shining was built to not be is built to not be structurally like logical to create dread in the viewer's mind because it doesn't make sense. That's what I feel like Times Square Station is.
But
minus the blood.
Other than that, yeah.
Well, depending.
Maybe.
Other than that, traveling through the system this time was like, it was okay. I just flew in too early.
Just bad time. I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm doing this tour thing in June, and I decided I don't want to rely on planes or have to deal with any. I'm just gonna drive.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I'm so excited. Have you guys done any kind of like road trip type things through Canada? I hear it's like. I mean, I actually haven't been. I was in Montreal like years ago. I really need to go back, but like. People who I know have like just driven like I'm gonna spend a summer driving from like Vancouver to Toronto or something.
I've never been out west.
I want to take the Trans-Canada Rail. I want to take the train from coast to coast.
That sounds lovely.
It's like $7,000.
Whoa!
Yeah.
How long?
It takes I think like 8 days or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's a vacation, all right.
I know.
Okay, you can follow Sandra on Twitter at SandraBat and on Instagram at Sandra Battaglini, and listen to her comedy album, Baby G's and Other Breeds, wherever you listen to comedy. Follow Phil at Phil Luzi on Twitter and Phil Luzi Official on Instagram, and find out more about his work at philluzi.com. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps word about the show spread like a disease at summer camp. Ugh.
And of course, lice outbreaks, dude. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to easily download new episodes. I'm Trying is hosted, edited, produced, and scored by Jhanelle Dennis and me, Jacob Derwin. Our cover art was created by the fabulous Sammy Kappa. See more of her work at sammykappa.com. That's SAMICAPPA.com.
You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at ImTryingShow, and if you want, you can follow us individually at Jhanelle Dennis and Jacob Derwin.
If you've screwed up or embarrassed yourself and are looking for help
or pity,
reach out to us on Twitter or email at imtryngshow@gmail.com, and our team of crisis experts will be more than happy to assist you.
Reasonably happy. Okay.
Thank you so much for listening, and to the tune of Julius Fusick.
I didn't know how the other part went. We just riffed it.
What does this become?
Wait, is life a disease?
I don't know, man, but like I do have a vivid memory of being 15.
You have to include that part.
Oh, I'm including all this. I have a vivid memory of being 15 and seeing every single girl on girl's side of my unit scrubbing each other's hair in a freaking chain with that shampoo. I consider it one.
Oh, so that's what they were doing at the girls' camp.